like Superman and tear it down. Call plays a quarterback and send him out. I feel that air it out, air it out. I hate it, clear it out, clear it out. I feel like Superman and tear it down. Call plays a quarterback and send him out. Take off. I'm on a rocket, a space dog. Bought a new car from Elon, wanna race. I've been asking how long is it gonna take. I've been cracking the car, had to break it safe. I've been riding my wrongs, had to change my ways. I was stuck in one place, so I had to shake. They try holding me down, but I found my way. Roddy Rich and so bicycle love me. Ride away, then my heart went on ice again. Find the balance, my patience been going thin. In the field every day till I reach the end. Popping up on your side like we out of bounds. Ain't no way that they think that it's stopping now. I've been waiting for my turn to come around. I've been waiting for my turn to come around. Air it out, air it out. I had to clear it out, clear it out. I feel like Superman and tear it down. Call plays a quarterback and send him out. I'm finna air it out, air it out. I had to clear it out, clear it out. I feel like Superman and tear it down. Call plays a quarterback and send him out.
What's up, football fans, and welcome to the Air It Out podcast. My name is Avery, and I am joined by two of the greatest football minds and analysts on the planet, and I'm going to introduce them to you now. One of them, well, he said it. Never mind. I'm not even going to do it. But I will say this: this individual has finally moved over to the good side. Okay, he is now an Apple iPhone user. Coach, say what's up to the people. Let everybody know, why you've been blessed with such favor.
Well, first off, let's clear this up. This is not by choice. This is by a loss of a bet. But as a man, I will take that. But it's okay though. I get an iPhone. She must watch One Piece. I feel like that's a fair trade-off.
That's a very fair trade-off.
5,000 plus episodes for an iPhone.
That's a very, very strong trade-off. I think she wins in the long run because she is credited with getting you on the right side of technology, bringing you into the new age, and then also she gets to experience a very, very great anime. I'm just saying. So I think she wins through and through. That's all I'm going to say. I think.
Listen, the fact that I get her to watch it with me, I'm all good with that. That's all I do.
Yeah, I think your only benefit here is that you are now an Apple iPhone user and you don't have to struggle with it. All right, you know what? Anyway,
my interest is here, so I'm all good.
Go ahead and burn it. Go ahead and burn it. Sell it. Do whatever you got to do. And then the one and only Mr. Detroit himself, he's out in Detroit, that is our man, the great Juan.
I love Detroit, but I don't like that it's keeping me flying home for Christmas. Well, we'll see how that goes right now. But you know what would be a great Christmas gift right now? Just to see, just for the Jets to do something this year, man. Are they my pick for tonight? We'll see, because my belief in them has been a little shaky, so I'll keep that on the wraps right now.
I mean, with Zach Wilson back under center, my belief would be very shaky as well. I'm just.
But on the bright side, we got the one and only Chris Streveler as the backup, and he is a Jets preseason legend. If y'all don't know about this man, get familiar, because he could be an NFL MVP next season if he takes over.
Bruh.
That's how a lot of Jets fans and Jets beat writers
are.
So
no, I'm not liking it. Not liking it. Not liking it at all. Anywho, I'm gonna go. I'm just go ahead and go past that. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a great show for you today. I just wanted to point this out real quick before we get into the show.
Wait. Do you have? I said this in the chat the other day. We always, whenever we have Coach in chat in show, we always have that stiff arm from Derrick Henry on Eric Reed from the 2018 playoff race.
Well,
Yeah,
Mr. Earl Thomas.
yeah, we got that. Yeah, we got
He
that.
might not be the best Raven, but he was a greasy Hulk.
but I am putting in a vote for a new animation of that to be taken forward. We both know
Yes,
which
just show it.
one we're talking about.
Show it. Play
Mr.
it.
Chandler
Love
Joe
it.
against
We will
Mr.
absolutely get that. I am going to make sure that our production team gets that, because that needs to be, that's got to be a staple from now on.
That one's pretty. Because this is more disrespectful, because that's the game winner right there.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, he had to be completely mortified after. I mean, especially for a game like, and he didn't even see you. It was bad. It was bad, Mac. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into the podcast. We're going to start off on a little bit of a somber note. Legendary Steelers running back Franco Harris has passed away, and we want to send our condolences and our thoughts and our prayers to him, his family, and all who were affected by the loss of, again, an NFL legend. We're talking about a Hall of Famer, somebody who won 4 Super Bowls with the franchise. I believe he was a 7-time Pro Bowler. Amazing running back. He was just, and from all accounts, a phenomenal man, like a great guy to be around. They said he cared about his family, he cared about his teammates, and was like the consummate professional. And obviously, we all remember mainly Franco Harris for the immaculate reception, and one of the greatest, if not the greatest, plays in NFL history. And so I'll pass it to you, Juan, briefly, just to give your thoughts on Franco Harris, his career, his life, and anything else.
Well, Franco Harris was this. He was a breath of fresh air for what was a lackluster Steelers team for a good chunk of the 60s and the early 70s. He brought a sense of grace to the running back position during his time in Pittsburgh. He wasn't that hard ground pound kind of running back that the city is usually known for, like Jerome Bettis is. But he brought elegance and grace to the Pittsburgh Steelers running game during his 9 seasons with them, especially in the play that he's known for, the one that basically kicked off the Steelers dynasty, the Steel Curtain era of the 70s, which is, we all know, the immaculate reception. Was it a catch? We'll never really know, will we? But what we do know is that it's because of that play that not only is he immortalized within the halls of NFL history, but he is also responsible for basically that play alone is responsible for making the game as beautiful and as unpredictable as we all love it to be. I can honestly say that's the play that helped grow the NFL and the sport of football as a whole in that country from that day forward. So rest in peace, Franco Harris.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I mean, you can't talk about the story of football without mentioning that play. In my opinion, it was a catch, especially with today's rules. Even if it did hit the ground, we did not see that ball move, man. That's a catch. And at the end of the day, you can't go back and change it, so it's a catch. Coach, what are your thoughts on the legend, Franco Harris?
A lot of respect for him. A whole lot of respect. It was always a battle. When these guys played each other, especially when they came to the Ravens, back when they were just the Baltimore Colts and the Pittsburgh Steelers. But as a respectful NFL fan, I love what he did for the game. As a Baltimore Ravens fan, I was happy when he retired, but I'm not happy to see him go. Definitely had a great career. The immaculate reception will go down as probably one of the best plays. It's our first double doink. For all Eagles fans out there, it was the first double doink almost.
I'm sorry, for who?
For all Eagles fans, because it was their game. Eagles and the Bears, not mine.
Yeah, all the
take it off.
all the Eagles
in the back. See who was in the back, people. You already know what it is, Ravens spot.
All the
But
Eagles.
again,
All the
it was like the first double doink.
You see us on the shirt.
Oh,
All the Eagles fans.
So again, it's basically like our first double doink. Bounces off, still catches it, tips of the fingers. It's just a sad day to see him go. We wish
Also,
him the
I
best.
also want to just clarify one thing. I said 9 years in the league. He was in the league for 13 years, spent 12 of them with the Steelers.
Yeah,
He's always been a Steeler.
amazing career. So RIP to Franco. Again, our condolences to him. This is actually coming a couple of days before he was actually going to be honored as in the Hall of Fame for the Steelers organization. He was going to be placed in the Ring of Honor, and they were going to retire. Excuse me, he's already in the Ring of Honor. They were going to retire his number, and so it's a sad day, but at the same time, I am grateful that he was given his flowers. Not just on the football field, but off. Like I said, all stories led to us hearing that he was a great man and that he was loved by many. So, rest in peace to a legend, R.I.P. Franco Harris. And with that, it's always tough to transition from topics like that into football and present day football, but we do want to get into some things, and so Mr. Braxton is going to kill you for posting that photo. I don't think she will. I mean, it's a phenomenal photo. It looks really good. It's like, it's a fan in his natural habitat. I think it's really beautiful. It sings just the beauty of fandom in the NFL. And it's it brings fireworks. I love it. Speaking of fireworks, all right, ladies and gentlemen, we have a very, very interesting situation going on in the NFL. I'm not sure if you guys know this, but there is a lot of chatter. It's a favorite picture of all time. I love that. I love that it is a favorite.
Spark the fire. Just continue to stroke it. That's what it is.
Green,
That's what it is.
Listen. Green fits you, coach, is what our CEO says.
Our CEO is biased.
Listen, I'm just gonna, just one more time, just so the fans can.
Oh God.
Just so they can just check it out. Okay. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, we've got a very, very interesting situation kind of brewing at the moment. And what I'm talking about, we have two receivers in the NFL. Over 1,500 yards currently in the NFL season with 3 games left to play. They both have 3 games left to play, and they're both over 1,500 yards. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about none other than Jay Jetta's Mr. Justin Jefferson. He's got 111 receptions, but 1,623 yards to 7 touchdowns. And then the cheetah himself, Mr. Tyreek Hill, at 109 receptions, but 1,529 yards, again with 7 touchdowns. And so I am going to ask you, Avery, I'm air fighting the Falcons right now. I'm so sorry. I do apologize, but we started a rookie. It is what it is, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't know what our CEO is talking about, the Falcons took an L to the Saints after starting Desmond Ridder last week, and Drake London fumbling on the game-winning drive, might I add. And that does not bode well for the Eagles because they hold the Saints' first-round pick. Anywho, my question to you, Coach, is who gets to 2K first? Who gets to 2,000 yards first? Do either of them get to 2,000 yards? I mean, we've never seen it before in the NFL. We still have yet to have anybody break Calvin Johnson's record. So that's the question. Who does it first, or do they do it at all?
So my main concern is the opponents that they play, because both of these guys, they're going to get their yards. They just are. They've shown it all year long. That's why so far they're definitely going to be 100 yards per game. But looking at it right now, the Vikings have Giants, the Packers, and the Bears, while the Dolphins have the Bills, the Packers, and the Packers, the Patriots, and the Jets. The Jets and the Jets and the Patriots have really good secondaries from what I've seen all season long. They might not be the greatest team overall, but their secondaries have been astonishingly good, especially with the Jets and that young secondary. So going off of that alone, I'm gonna have to go with Jay Jettis. I have to. It just makes too much more sense for him to go off. That Packers secondary, yes, he's gonna go against Jair Alexander, but I feel like he's still going to be able to make it. He's only 400 yards away. That's roughly about a $138 game. He's going to pop that. And I believe he will definitely break Calvin Johnson's record. And for 2,000, depending on these games, I'm looking at 2,100. I'm just saying. Make it and break it for real.
Are you talking about shattering the record? That's a lot of wow. Okay. Juan, what are your thoughts? Juan had this face on.
I don't think either one of them makes it, to be honest. Just so here's the thing. So Jefferson's at 1623. Tyreek is at 1529. Both of them are phenomenal wide receivers. They're bust. But at the pace that they're going, Calvin Johnson is still outpacing where they are right now. Like right now and this week, Johnson was about 1,660 something receiving yards. JJ's like close to that by 1,632, and Tyreek is a whole 100 yards behind. Even with the extra game, I don't think these two are going to be able to hit that mark because number one, even though Justin Jefferson has been the favorite target of Kirk Cousins, you still have other people on that offense has been getting plenty of touches too. From the new addition of TJ Hawkinson, the tight end, to the I can't remember 19 for the Vikings.
Kendrick Bourne?
No.
Adam Thielen. What are we
Adam
talking
Thielen.
about?
Thank you. Yeah, Adam Thielen.
I was shocked because I'm like, how do you forget that? So I immediately went to Kendrick Bourne. I'm like, he can't be forgetting Adam Thielen.
No, I did forget Adam Thielen for a second. To Adam Thielen, to Dalvin Cook still being a beast on the ground, as well as being able to catch out the backfield, although not as much. That being said, Jefferson has been known to have these great bursts of big games. He's had 3 games of 180 plus yards this season. One of them, he had over 220, but he's also had games where he's been held under 50 yards. He's had 4 of those so far. So depending on these next 3 matchups, who the Vikings get in terms of secondary matchups, it really that's up in the air with Jefferson. As for Tyreek, streaky as heck for me with Tyreek. He started out at a good pace. He had 1,100 yards through the first 9 games of the season, then kind of fell off. He had to share touches with Jalen Waddle, who has 64 catches on the year, while Tyreek has 109. Not to mention, Tua, for as good as he's developed as a quarterback, still struggles getting the ball downfield, specifically on deep passes. Is that a problem? Is that a problem for Tyreek, who's always a threat to take it to the house? No, I don't think so. But at the same time, with the pace that he's going and only 3 games left in the season and some good secondaries, as Coach mentioned, to contend with, I don't think he'll even hit 1,900. I think he'll hit 1,800 before the season's out. So no, I don't think we'll have a 2K receiver this year.
All right. I'm not mad at those thoughts, man. It's going to be an interesting race to see, but me personally, I'm going to have to agree with Coach. I think if either guy does it, I think it's going to be Justin Jefferson. And the reason I say this is because of some of the things that you kind of touched on, Juan. Number one, his offense. The offense is predicated on getting the ball into the hands of their playmakers. He's obviously Kirk Cousins' number one and favorite target. But I think to the point that you mentioned with Adam Thielen, with Kendrick Bourne, with T.J. Hockenson, with Dalvin Cook, there's so much space on the field to spread the ball around that you really can't double Justin Jefferson. I mean, unless you're willing to concede to Adam Thielen going for 100 and Dalvin Cook going for 100 and Kendrick Bourne, we just saw his last game going for over 140 yards and obviously T.J. Hockenson, one of the better
159.
And then like I said, Hockenson being one of the better pass catching tight ends in the NFL. I mean, unless you're conceding that, plus the second reason I think that it'll be Justin Jefferson is to Darren's point, the schedule, right? I think that the Vikings have a better chance schedule wise to actually have Justin Jefferson break that mark. I mean, they have remaining the Giants, who are a solid all-around defense, but like the secondary isn't the thing that we say, oh my goodness, right? It's just solid all-around defense. The Packers, who have obviously Jair Alexander, but with the injuries every now and again, it's just like, is he going to be consistent? And then outside of Jair Alexander, there's huge question marks in the secondary. And then the Vikings play the Bears. And again, the Bears have a solid defense, but we'll see what happens. I mean, I think because of that schedule, I think he has the potential. But the last reason that I think he'll be able to do it first before Tyreek. I think he'll do it. It's simply because the Vikings have a record that allows for it. Like they really. I mean, if the Eagles win this weekend, if all of these, like they're chasing the number one seed, sure, but the question is, do they think that that's really going to deter them? And so, if they don't think this is the case, if they're like, listen, we've already kind of wrapped up a playoff spot, we're good to go. The Lions, yeah, they're peaking right now, but are we really afraid of them? Nobody's afraid of the Packers right now, and nobody's afraid of the Bears holistically. So I think they're saying we've got the division wrapped up. We're going to make the playoffs. We're going to be a high seed in the playoffs. I wouldn't be surprised if I saw Kirk Cousins force the ball to Justin Jefferson and not really care about winning the remainder of the games because they've kind of wrapped up what they wanted to do in the first, get to the playoffs, have a high seed. So I don't think they really – I don't know. Me personally, I could see it happening with Justin Jefferson. But we will see. What we do know is that both of these receivers, both of them, have been named to the Pro Bowl, ladies and gentlemen. They have both been named to the Pro Bowl. I think that this is Justin Jefferson's third consecutive since he's gotten to the league. And this is Tyreek's. I believe this is his seventh. So it's very, 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 very telling that these two receivers are the two guys, that are like in this race for 2K. But my question to you guys is, we've seen the Pro Bowl rosters come out. My question is, who do you feel was snubbed? Do you feel that there were any snubs? Do you feel like they got this right? Do you think that this was a little biased? I mean, the Eagles, they have 8 players. The Cowboys have 7, I believe. The Chiefs have 7. The Vikings, I believe, have 5. I mean, do you guys feel like there was some bias here, or do you guys feel like everybody was deserving that there were no snubs? Juan, I'll start with you.
Caught me off guard with this one. we didn't prep for it.
I did. I gave you the prep. It was right after the news that you got right before the show. So maybe you didn't catch it, but yes.
Yeah, you know what? I will say there was a snub. I'll only say one though, because he's on my fantasy team on my winning season right now. That's Mr. Christian McCaffrey. How do you snub a man who is pulling off a fantastic dual team season unlike any other? When was the last time you saw a back on trend for over 750 receiving yards, over 1,000 rushing yards, and could hit 10 touchdowns, 10 total touchdowns before the season's over after being traded to another team. When was the last time anyone had that kind of a turnaround? Christian McCaffrey, for all that he gets about being an injury-prone running back, has been astounding. He's back. He's back, and if not hitting a peak that he hasn't seen since his early days in Carolina. The Shanahan offense has complemented him very well, not to mention the warmer climate. And ever since he's joined his team, the 49ers have been trending skyward more and more to being a Super Bowl contender, Brock Purdy or not. So, yeah, I'd say Christian McCaffrey not being named to the Pro Bowl, what a snub. Ultimate, what a snub. And also DJ Reed of the New York Jets, the cornerback, because he's had a fantastic season as well. Plus JC Horn with the Carolina Panthers. The man has taken a huge leap forward in his second season. He has a better coverage rating and has more interceptions and batted down passes than Xavier Howard, who's been having one of his worst seasons as a pro. And that's where I'll end my argument.
All right, I'm not mad at it. Coach, talk to me. Who are your snubs, if any?
Amon-Ra St. Brown, Austin Eckler. You're telling me Amon-Ra St. Brown, who right now got more catches than Terry McLaurin, same amount of touchdowns as CD Lamb, but didn't hit the 1,000-yard mark yet. He is 24 yards away from that 1,000-yard mark, which on his average, that's 2 catches. And he's a focal point in that offense, especially now that TJ Hockenson is not there anymore. That team worked because he is their number one option in the passing game. In the passing game, he is the number one option at the slot, and he is doing a phenomenal job in his second full year being that guy. And I love to see it. And secondly, Austin Eckler. Are we forgetting Austin Eckler, people? The man, the myth, the fantasy legend. He how do I say this? Austin Eckler is the bootleg for some people, Alvin Kamara. And we haven't seen Alvin Kamara this year. But we've still seen Austin Eckler. Even with a depleted receiving core around him, he still does his job receiving, catching the ball, blocking. He's making Justin Herbert's job that much easier every single game. And he's already having enough tough times. So those are my two right there.
That's solid. I didn't even know that Austin Eckler was snubbed. That is shocking, especially considering the I guess the slowdown, if you will, of Derrick Henry toward the latter part of the season. We typically see him ramp up during this time, and he's kind of tapered off. So yeah, that's I didn't know that. That's very, very interesting. For me, I actually don't have any. I don't think I have any snubs. I mean, I see the case for Christian McCaffrey, but at the same time, I mean, I'm looking at the running backs who made it from the NFC. Saquon Barkley been balling all year. Tony Pollard, I mean, he's literally I think he's been the reason the Cowboys have even been competitive right now, just because of how dynamic he's been out of the backfield. And then Miles Sanders, I mean, he's had a phenomenal year running and catching the football. So I can see a case for Christian McCaffrey, but I see a case for all three of these guys as well. And then, like I said, as far as the AFC, you got me with the Austin Eckler. That's, but I see the case for Derrick Henry too. I mean, he is the king. He is still one of the top rushers in the NFL, even though he is, kind of tapered off and slowed down. And the fact that he doesn't have any outside presence, right, as far as receivers. So it's literally the Derrick Henry show, and he's still putting up really good Pro Bowl numbers. So, I mean, it's really tough. I mean, if I was to choose somebody, let me see, because this This one's tough. Like I said, I didn't really feel anybody got snubbed.
I mean,
I was glad that Chris Lindstrom from the Falcons did make it. That was huge because I think he absolutely 100% deserved it. But if there's anybody, I mean,
I got two honorable mentions if you can't think of nobody.
I'm trying to think here, and I'm like, all right, let me ask you this, because I didn't check the roster. Did Aiden Hutchinson make it?
Not that I remember. And that's one I can think of as a snub, but that's not.
But yeah, I don't know. I was going to say
right now.
I thought he was going to get snubbed, but he didn't get snubbed, so I'm happy. I was going to say Geno if he didn't make it, but Geno made it.
Geno Smith, he got in.
Geno, that's what I said. I was going to say Geno if he didn't make it, but he did.
You're asking if Aiden Hutchinson got snubbed or not because he didn't make it.
Okay, I would make it. There's a case I would make for Aiden, but again, I don't think that there's anybody on this. I don't think there's anybody that I would say got snubbed right now.
I got two.
Because unless actually, let me check this because I do want to I want to check this. He's AFC. Let me check because if he's not here, he definitely he got snubbed. Okay. Or maybe an honorable mention, but I believe Dameon Pierce definitely should have at least gotten some consideration for the Pro Bowl. Me personally. But again, I don't know if I'll call anything a snub. Maybe an honorable mention. I don't see any snubs.
I got a snub. Alex Highsmith. That's a snub. How is J.J. Watt out 7 games? J.J. Watt does not have double-digit sacks, but
because
Highsmith has 11. He is tied for 7th right now in the league over guys like Khalil Mack and TJ Watt. And he's been a constant presence in the backfield the entire time when there was no TJ.
Never mind. Anyway,
we're
going to move on. We're going to move on. Outside of the Pro Bowlers, that's a great and a phenomenal feat to accomplish. It's one that is I believe highly regarded because the fans vote for you, the players vote for you, and the coaches vote for you. So I love that. But there's one award that I believe that most people covet throughout the NFL season, and that is the NFL MVP, outside of the Super Bowl champion. And so my question to you guys is very simple. Who is your NFL MVP up to this point? Most people have Jalen Hurts. Some people have Patrick Mahomes. Now with Jalen Hurts' injury, some people are questioning should he be in consideration anymore. Some people are saying they should trade the Colts and bring Nick Foles back. I mean, my question to
who's saying the craziness? Oh my God!
Listen, I've had fans say the last time we were in this type of position where we had a Super Bowl MVP winning quarterback. And then he went down, and Nick Foles came in. We won a Super Bowl. I'm saying
but why can't that be Gardner Minshew instead?
Listen, all I'm saying is Nick Foles is a trophy. Coach, talk to me. Who do you think is the MVP?
All right, first off, let's kill the noise. Nick Foles should never step foot back in the Eagles Stadium unless he is an opponent. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There will be no big Foles, whatever you want to call it, from around Super Bowl time. No, we're not doing that. The team is Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts got him there. He strained something because of his play style, but he is fine. Did y'all not hear the clip of what he did? His lineman thought he was hurt. He told his lineman, pick me up ASAP. So, no, I don't have no – I don't want to hear that. But when it comes to the MVP polling – I'm going to lean right now towards Jalen Hurts, but depending on what happens this week with him not being able to play and what can Patrick Mahomes do, then it might lean closer to Patrick Mahomes. Right now, it is in Jalen Hurts. He's the guy to lose right now. I feel like he's won it so far throughout this year with his play style and the way he's winning. You got to give it to him. I can't knock him for that. But again, depending on what happens this week, I can see Patrick Mahomes overtaking him.
Okay. One.
It's Jalen Hurts all the way for me. We should not have to discount the MVP race for someone missing just one game in the season. Injuries happen from time to time. That's part of the game. We're going to give it to Patrick Mahomes. Yes, he has 35 touchdowns on the season. He also has 11 interceptions. Yes, he's been able to do it with that Tyreek Hill in the lineup, but he's also had a myriad of other good receivers take the spot, like Juju Smith-Schuster, like MVS, like Travis Kelce, and he also has a hell of a coach and a Hall of Famer that is Andy Reid, Jalen Hurts. No one expected him to even be in this conversation. No one expected him to take the leap forward that he has as a quarterback. Well, you did. But, apart from that, no one in the entire genre of the football cognoscenti expected Jalen Hurts to be an NFL MVP contender. No one expected that. And his production is by far some of the most outstanding that you'll ever see in an MVP contender. He has 3,400 passing yards, almost 750 rushing yards, 22-5 touchdown to interception ratio, and 13 rushing touchdowns on the season. My God, it's like watching Cam Newton on steroids taking over here, man. Not to mention, if he comes back the week after, Jalen Hurts has the opportunity to be the first quarterback in NFL history to pass for over 4,000 yards and rush for over 1,000. That has never happened before in the NFL level. It has happened maybe 10 times in college, but never at the NFL level. I don't think that Hurts should lose out on the MVP just because of a strained shoulder and being missed against the Cowboys. That should not be counted against him. Patrick Mahomes, if he wins it, well-deserved, but Jalen Hurts, my front runner, my pick.
Solid. I don't think that Jalen gets the 4,000, 1,000. But I do think he breaks Cam Newton's record for rushing touchdowns in a season. I think he'll get that one. For me, it's Jalen Hurts. I mean, I agree with you guys. Number one, I don't care what Patrick Mahomes does. We got 3 games left in the season. It's 3 games left in the season, and it's been Jalen Hurts. And his team has lost 1 game. I really don't care. He has nothing else to prove. The stats are there. The numbers are there. The wins are there. The play is there. The film is there. I mean, he just won a game last week without throwing a touchdown. And still lit up the fantasy scoreboard.
So here's the thing, though. Missing a game count against him? Because,
I said it should. It should not, because of the fact that he's played majority of the season. He's played over 80% of the season. And he technically probably could play this game, but I mean, they got the playoffs to look forward to. If he was in the mix of a playoff race and they were in the mix of a playoff push, Jalen Hurts is not sitting out. We know this. He's not sitting out. But because they have it wrapped up, it's the only reason that he's going to take the break. Jalen Hurts is the clear-cut MVP. I don't think it's close. I don't think there should be consideration for anybody else. And I called this at the beginning of the season. I said the only thing that's going to stop Jalen Hurts this year is Jalen Hurts. I said everything is built for him to be successful now. He finally has receivers on the outside. He's got a dominant running game. He's one of the best, if not the best, offensive line in the league. The defense is playing at a top 5 level. Jalen Hurts, the only obstacle in front of Jalen Hurts is Jalen Hurts. And I said it then, and I'm saying it now, he'll probably win the MVP. I said it then. I'm going to stamp on it. He should win the MVP. I know that the MVP is about, or they say it's about the most valuable player, but we've seen that it's not that case. Because if that was the case, like I said, in 2012, then Peyton Manning would have won the MVP. Because he absolutely torched the league. He gets hurt, and that team wins 2 games, and it completely derails the entire franchise for a couple of years. He was that good. So we know it's not about the most valuable player. It's about the most productive player on the best team. And he has been the most productive player on the best team. And If Gardner Minshew loses this game, that's going to prove his value even more. So it should be, without question, Jalen Hurts. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, huh?
My worry is, and I say this with the utmost respect for him, but the Lamar Jackson running quarterback syndrome. He runs and he plays at a very physical style. God forbid he gets hurt, and this is not just a one-game thing. This can be 1 game, 2 games, maybe 3. I definitely know he's coming back this season to play in that playoffs. There's nothing stopping him from doing that. But any other games other than one will consistently hurt him because he is a black running quarterback that is playing a more physical style. That is why.
That exact argument is actually also
no other reason
keeping Lamar Jackson from getting paid in the NFL.
Listen, I agree. I agree with all that. I agree with all that, but it should not. We saw Cam Newton do this.
It shouldn't.
We saw
but it has too many times in the past. We can't think past that until they can show us they can.
Listen, man.
I wish that it goes to Jalen Hurts again. He's my front runner, but God forbid.
I just got to go Jalen Hurts. And it was a situation where even though Tom Brady played as well as Tom Brady played that year, it was clear that Cam Newton was the MVP. I mean, and I see where you're coming from because Tom Brady shouldn't have been in the conversation that year with Cam Newton. He should not have been in the conversation. Nobody should have been in the conversation. It should have been a clear cut Cam Newton. Like by week 11, it should have been like, yeah, that's it. Like he's got it.
We're talking about the 2015 season?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay.
I believe the same thing about this right now. I believe Jalen Hurts is the clear cut. He's the guy. That's just me. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna jump into our next topic, and that is Thursday Night Football. Thursday Night Football, ladies and gentlemen. So I want to get your game picks for the night. And, just talk to me about it a little bit. You know what? I'm going to start with, I think the conversation on running quarterbacks is starting to change a bit. I think the league is starting to realize a mobile quarterback is needed these days. I agree with you. However, I also agree with your husband that there's a second caveat to what he stated. Black running quarterback, right? Because Josh Allen's a running quarterback.
They love Josh Allen.
They love Josh Allen. They don't talk about him getting hurt as much. They really don't. Trevor Lawrence. They don't talk about. But every time it's like, oh, he got to stop running the football so much. He's probably going to get. Jalen Hurts squats 600 pounds.
Let's be honest. Jalen Hurts is 99.28% accurate from 4th and 1, 3rd and 1. If it's 1 yard to go, he's getting that quarterback sneak. 99.28% of the time. I call it.
They need to redo the awards like MLB where they have QB only award and have MVP for the. I agree with that 110% because there's a lot of these quarterbacks who have gotten MVP didn't deserve it. I said what I said. No offense, and I love Matt Ryan. He did not deserve it that year. He did. Julio Jones had 300 yards in one game. That was not a Matt Ryan thing.
If I'm not mistaken, Charles Woodson is the only person that ever won the defensive MVP.
Charles Woodson? No.
I'm sorry, not Charles Woodson.
Lawrence Taylor.
I'm sorry, Lawrence. Yeah, that's even worse. That's even worse. It's only Lawrence Taylor. Charles Woodson, when he played with the Packers that year, he should have won the MVP.
Michael Strahan owns an NFL sack record and did not get an MVP. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is all I'm saying. But anyway.
You can also, all right, let me ask you this. 2016, J.J. Watt. 20 sack season off a second straight 20 sack season, plus caught 5 touchdowns on offense. MVP? And scored on defense. And led the league in pass deflections from the defensive line that year. Absolutely.
Aaron Donald, any of his defensive campaigns.
Like, what are we? Yes.
What we doing, yo?
Jonathan Taylor. Let's go in recent years. Jonathan Taylor was an absolute terror.
Cooper Kupp winning the Triple Crown. Justin Jefferson this year.
Just saying. Anywho, no, not Justin Jefferson this year. It's Jalen Hurts. Like Jalen Hurts deserves it this year.
I'm just saying, quarterback at least deserves to be in the conversation.
Sure, yeah, but a quarterback deserves it this year, and it's Jalen Hurts. With that being said, Again, Thursday night football, New York Jets versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jacksonville Jaguars are playing very, very competitive football right now, but so are the New York Jets. They haven't fallen off, even though Zach Wilson has come back under center. Yes, they haven't won, but they're still competitive. They're fighting. They're making a case to push for the playoffs. So, Juan, I will start with you. Who you got for tonight, man?
This will be my last stick before I leave, so I'm glad I'm ending it on this note. I'm taking my Jets to beat the Jacksonville Jaguars tonight. If you had a doubt,
Did we expect anything less? Did we expect anything less?
No, look, I think the Jaguars are a team on the rise, and Doug Peterson is taking them in a good location. Trevor Lawrence blossoming under this coaching talent, man. Then blossoming might be the understatement. He is truly looking like the number 1 overall pick that everyone thought he could be. However, the fact of the matter is that despite all that, his weapons are still who they are. Yes, Zay Jones is a good receiver, but he's not a true number 1. Tell me who's the true number 1 receiver on the Jacksonville Jaguars right now. Really can't. It's not even Christian Kirk, the man that they paid $72 million for over the next 4 seasons. You can't, and no one here can tell me that Evan Ingram is a number 1 tight end option for that team. He's still dropping balls like it's crazy. And the defense, while it has improved overall for the Jacksonville Jaguars, is still underperforming. The number 1 overall pick from this year, Trayvon Walker, their number 1 overall pick from this year, isn't even playing tonight. He's out. Either with injury or benching. I didn't really see what was that he got ruled out for, but he's not playing tonight. So there's Jags win. Get bet, Mr. Chris.
I like it. I love it. Let's do it. Yeah.
With that being said, I think the Jaguars have plenty of firepower, but this Jets defense has been nothing short of astounding. They're getting Quentin Williams back down the middle, who is already a Pro Bowler and could be a first-team All-Pro defensive lineman, already achieving double sacks in the season. Sauce Gardner has emerged as one of the brightest young cornerbacks in the game, albeit one of the best defensive players in the game. I will go there, damn it. CJ Mosley, also a Pro Bowler, having a resurgence for the Jets this season, albeit from that one stupid mistake he made against the Bills 2 weeks ago. And the offense is my biggest worry, even though I still think that it could move well if Zach Wilson can behave under pressure. The man just, as soon as he has to take a drop back, he throws interceptions like it's crazy. Like against the Lions, he took a drop back, lobbed the ball over the head of his receiver, and it was picked off like candy by the Detroit Lions safety. If Mike LaFleur can draw up a plan that keeps Zach Wilson in check and tries to create some kind of a rushing game for the Jets, I do believe there's a chance of winning. The playoff hopes are still alive, and my New York Jets will come out the winner in their first primetime football game since last year when they got blown out by the Colts.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see. Juan, we know you got to go, but before you go, if you got a hot take, drop it on us if you got one.
I say this every week, and it never comes true, but I'm going to say it now. Sauce Gardner with a pick 6 against Trevor Lawrence, and Zach Wilson throws a 65-yard touchdown to CJ Uzomah to win the game.
All right.
65-yarder.
I like it.
He threw a 40-yarder last week.
And
another 50-yarder to Jeff Smith. So he's going for the home runs. Let's hope he's actually hitting tonight.
I'm not mad at it. Juan, we thank you for your time, sir. Enjoy, be safe, and hopefully that whole issue works out. Please keep me posted on that. That's important.
Happy holidays, guys.
Yes, sir. Peace. All right, Coach, talk to me, man. Who you got?
I got the Jags. I'm happy I went second, so I didn't want to hear Juan me for that one. I'm sorry. I'm going with the Jags on this one. Trevor Lawrence is looking good. He's been looking real good lately. I'm sorry. And his connection right now with Zay Jones, Marvin Jones, and Christian Kirk, they don't have a number 1, but all those 2s and 3s, they're getting open in that system well. So I'm going with the Jags. I got to. I'm sorry.
Not mad at it. I'm torn, man. I'm honestly torn. I think, to Juan's point, getting Quentin Williams back is huge. Pro Bowler. He's dominant. CJ Mosley is flying around the football, but the real main key for me is that on that defense is that dude Sauce Gardner really shuts down the side of the field. I mean, in my opinion, he's a top 5 corner already. He might be the best corner in the NFL this year. Like, he's that good. He's absolutely phenomenal. And so it's going
to score more than the Jags scored. That's the question.
And that's the question. And so it's like I'm unsure because even with that, it's like Sauce can't guard everybody, right? So I'm unsure. I'm going to lean toward. Gotcha, Chris. I'm gonna give that in a second, but I'm gonna lean toward, and I'm gonna go with my gut here. I'm gonna go with the Jags. I'm going with my gut. Trevor Lawrence is hot right now. I mean, his last 2 games has been absolutely just phenomenal. I mean, from a fantasy standpoint and just from an actual standpoint, the guy has just been on a tear right now. Doug Peterson is looking like the quarterback whisperer that he's been touted to be. It looked like Trevor Lawrence is settled in to the system and is fully grasping it. He's scary. He's scary right now. So I'm gonna go with the Jacksonville Jaguars for tonight's game. Let's get to your hot takes though, Coach, and then we'll do your game picks. So actually, you know what? Let me go back. Let me not acknowledge Chris. My thoughts on Ridder. I did not get a chance to see the entirety of the game, but from what I did see, I think I saw like the second half on. What I did see from Desmond Ridder is exactly that. I saw some rookie mistakes, which were expected because he's a rookie. He wasn't a highly touted quarterback coming out of college in the first place. He was just a guy who people thought that who could play at the pro level, but nobody thought that he was going to be the next Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, or anything like that. They just thought he had the skill set to play in the NFL and to help a team win some football games. And that's what I saw. I saw he has the skill set to help this team win some football games. They came out and they threw the ball more in this game with the rookie quarterback than they had in the last 8 weeks under Marcus Mariota. And he didn't play bad. He actually led a game-winning drive down the field against the Saints with a really good defense, and they may have actually scored and won that game had Drake London not fumbled the football, which again another rookie mistake. Go down, live to play another down. But I saw some rookie mistakes, but I also saw some good things as well. I mean, I saw when he was in rhythm with his receivers, he was very accurate. I saw he is able to use his legs just enough, but the main thing is I saw he chose when to use his legs. He decided to stay in the pocket as much as possible, and that's what I like to see. Lean on your run game, get the ball to your playmakers, and let them be the playmakers that they are. So I enjoyed watching his first NFL game. I mean, a lot of people are giving him flack, but I think there's only 3 NFL quarterbacks in NFL history who have gone into the New Orleans Superdome and won in their rookie debut. And so that's telling, right? And he almost did so. So like I said, I think I'm not sure if he's the quarterback of the future. I'm not going to crown him the franchise quarterback. I'm saying I'm unsure. I'm saying that I saw one game and I got to see more for me to say, oh, okay, we can trust in this guy. But I wasn't like, oh man, bring Mariota back in. That never crossed my mind, not once during the game. So those are my thoughts. Coach, give us your hot takes, and we're going to jump right into your game picks right after. So hot take Thursday, drop it on them.
All right. You know what? Let me get the game picks first, and now I got you with the hot take.
All right, let's do it.
All right, so the game picks, you already know the Jags over the Jets, Ravens over the Falcons. I know what your pick's going to be, but that's okay. We can beef this week. The Bills over the Bears, the Saints. No. Browns over the Saints, actually. Browns over the Saints. I'm liking what they're doing defensively. Offensively, yeah. But defensively, yeah. Texans over the Titans. Chiefs over the Hawks. Vikings over the Giants. The Bengals over the Patriots. Lions over the Panthers. Lions has been hot. 49ers over the Commanders. The Steelers over the Raiders. Cardinals over the Bucks. The Rams over the Broncos. The Dolphins over the Packers. The Chargers over the Colts. My game of the week, my hot take. Eagles win by 1 point exactly. And that 1 point exactly is because they block a field goal.
I like it.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough game. And it's very, very hard to go against it because Gardner Minshew is solid, but he's not Jalen Hurts. And that Cowboys team now has Dak Prescott back. So now it's honestly reverse roles.
Yeah, literally.
Let's see if they can do this. And in the reverse of totally, they play at Cowboy Stadium.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard, but I still got the Eagles won that.
It'll be very interesting to see. Hot takes. Drop them on me.
Okay, I'll take Eagles win by that 1 point. They block the field goal, and Dak Prescott throws another pick six.
Okay, that's solid. It's a mild take. I'm not mad at it.
Nothing crazy. Nothing crazy.
Not mad at it. All right, my game picks. I'm going to go, like I said, Jags tonight. Falcons versus the Ravens. I'm actually leaning towards the Ravens here, but I don't know, man. I don't know.
It's hard to go against your own team. I know.
It is, but at the same time, it's like you guys lost to the Browns. It's going to be a battle of the run games. Man, I think you guys are a better rounded team, so I'll give the Ravens the W there. Bills versus the Bears. Bills. Saints versus the Browns. You remember my hot take from last week. Browns. Texans versus the Titans. Titans. Seahawks versus the Chiefs. Chiefs. Giants versus the Vikings. I'll go Vikings. Do I want to go Vikings? I'll go Vikings. Bengals versus the Patriots. No. Giants. Give me the Giants. Bengals versus the Patriots. Yeah, Bengals versus the Patriots. Give me the Bengals. Lions versus the Panthers. Give me the Lions. Commanders versus the 49ers. Give me the Give me 49ers. Eagles versus the Cowboys. Ooh. Jalen Hurts' absence is going to be missed.
Huge.
Give me the Cowboys. Raiders versus the Steelers. Give me the Steelers. Packers versus the Dolphins. Broncos versus the Rams. More like trash versus trash.
That's exactly what it is, but it's okay.
Give me the Broncos. Bucks versus the Cardinals. I feel like the Bucks are going to win. I want the Cardinals to win, but I'll go with the Bucks because Trace McSorley is probably going to start for the Cardinals. So give me the Bucks. Chargers versus the Bolts. Chargers. They're fighting right now. So they're fighting. No explanations. My hot take is simple. We will see 2,000-yard receivers this season. Both Jay Jettas and Tyreek Hill will break the 2,000-yard mark. Justin Jefferson will do it first, but we will see it happen this year, ladies and gentlemen. Two 2,000-yard receivers in the 2022-2023 NFL season.
Question before we go.
Okay.
Who was the bigger disappointment, the Broncos or the Rams?
I think I gotta go Broncos, right? You signed this quarterback, multi-Pro Bowl quarterback. You've got this solid defense. Patrick Surtain, Bradley Chubb was there before he got traded. All these different things. You've got weapons on the outside, and Jerry Jeudy, Cortland Sutton.
Great minds think alike, man.
Yeah, man. So for me, it's gotta be the Broncos, the Rams. I mean, people were saying that the Rams were a fluke last year in the first place. Von Miller not being there absolutely hurt that team. Odell Beckham Jr. not being there absolutely hurt that team. And then obviously
Cooper Kupp, no Robert Woods.
Yeah, and then Cooper Kupp getting hurt absolutely hurt that team. So the Rams, I mean, So for me, yeah, it's easily the Broncos. Easily the Broncos. They were supposed to compete, and they are not competing, and it's really sad. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's the Air It Out podcast. We're gonna get out your hair. We appreciate everybody for tuning in today. Please do me a favor, follow us on all your social media platforms. That's Instagram and Facebook at Inside the Hashes. That's Twitter at Inside Hashes. And please go check out the website, www.insidethehashes.com. You'll get all of the football content that you need. That's literally player interviews. That's podcasts. That's gaming. That's fantasy football. That's all of those different things. The blogs, whatever you need, we are the apex of football. Go to InsideTheHashes.com and then also go to YouTube. Go to YouTube, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and please turn on the notifications. That way you can get your comments dropped in the chat live, just like this. We appreciate you, Pop. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining in. And ladies and gentlemen, if you're wondering how to do that or where to go, and if you don't want to go to all those different places, just do me a favor and scan that QR code right there up in the corner, and it'll get you everything you need. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Coach Braxton. My name is Avery. This has been the Air It Out podcast. Juan, we appreciate you. We're sending happy holidays, love and light to everybody out there. Please be safe, in this weather, and enjoy your families this weekend. The Air It Out podcast brought to you by Inside the Hashes. Over and out. But Matt probably will still be starting if he wasn't patting the football. But now you got to bring him.
He lost the worst game possible,
and he lost that game.
He still wanted to defend this man.
Stop patting the football in the second half. They scored more than 3
Cousins is
That's all I'm saying.